Hi everyone, it's Jennifer from Fiberflux. In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this really cute and easy pumpkin patch coffee cozy. I have made a basic coffee sleeve, and just as a side note, this is a 9-inch circumference, but it is pretty stretchy, so you can fit it on a variety of sizes of cups from the coffee shop or a tea, whatever you prefer. And I made this by working into the back loop, so we created these really pretty decorative ridges that add a little interest to it, but are still super easy, and I'm going to walk you through all the steps. And I have topped off the cozy with some pumpkins, a pretty pumpkin edging that is also very easy to do. So this is perfect. You can even make a few. You can make one for you and one for a friend, and this is so fallish and fun and easy. So let's get started. For this project, you'll need a 6.5mm K crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, and your yarn. I'm going to be using Lion Brand's Lion's Pride wool spun yarn, and I selected just some leftovers that I had from other projects in the most fallish colors that I could find. And this is called Avocado, Honey, Mahogany, and Pumpkin. So we're going to be making stripes of these really fall colors. If you want to substitute yarn, or if you're looking for something you already have in your stash, just look at the yarn label and look for a yarn that recommends a 6.5mm K crochet hook if you'd like to substitute yarn. So let's get started. We're going to begin, whenever I'm doing a project with stripes, I like to lay the yarn out in the order that I want to make the stripes. So I kind of laid these out the way I want them, and we're going to start with this the orange, okay? So what we're going to do, this is a really easy coffee cozy. What we're going to do is we're going to make a slip knot on our hook. So wrap the yarn around your fingers to make a loop, bring the yarn behind the loop, reach in with your crochet hook and bring up the loop and tighten. We're going to be working in the round from the bottom up, and then later adding little pumpkins to the top of the coffee cozy. Okay, so our coffee cozy has a starting chain of 21. So to make a chain, wrap yarn around hook and bring it through the loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Okay? So let's make our first round. What we're going to do is this first chain that we made, the chain farthest from our hook, we're going to work a slip stitch into that chain to create this circle. This will be the bottom of our coffee cozy. So insert the hook into that chain, wrap yarn around hook, bring it through, and then bring it through the loop already on your hook. We now have our bottom edge of our coffee cozy. See this end here? We're going to hold this along the edge as we work, and that will weave it in as we go along. Next, we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Then we're going to work a half double crochet in each chain all the way around. So to make a half double crochet, what you want to do is wrap yarn around hook, insert it into that first chain that you come to, and bring up a loop. Wrap yarn around hook, bring it through all 3 loops on the hook. Okay? So we're going to just do this all the way around in each chain, all the way around. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and work my half double crochets, and when we get to the end of this round, we'll rejoin and I'll show you how to begin the next round. Okay, so I'm going to work to almost to the end. We'll finish up this round and then begin the next round. Okay, I'm just working that last half double crochet, and then we're back where we started with our starting chain. We're going to count 1, 2 chains up, and then join with a slip stitch. So insert the hook into that chain, bring up a loop, bring that loop through the loop already on your hook. Okay, so the bottom of our cozy is complete. So then what we're going to do is cut the yarn, fasten off, and then we're going to work our next round. The next round that we'll be doing is the round that we're going to be repeating for the entire coffee cozy. Now our coffee cozy isn't very big, it's just, you know, a short little coffee cozy, but this will be the round that we'll be repeating. So I'm going to grab the next color of my sequence. I have them lined up here, just slightly out of the camera here, but I have them lined up in the order, and I'm just going to put them back in the same order just so I remember. It just keeps me on track. Okay, so then what we're going to do, we're going to be working into the back loops only. So when you join your yarn, you see this stitch up here, how it has 2 loops. Insert your hook just into this back loop. We're going to work into the back loops only of this project. And when you join your yarn, you want to do that too, so it looks seamless. You don't have you know, any interruption in your stitches, your stitch work. Okay, so just go ahead and just tie this mahogany right on. Then we're just going to do the same thing we did before, but we're just going to be working into the back loops of our work. Okay, so reinsert your hook back into that back loop, bring up a loop and chain 2. 1, 2. Then we're going to work a half double crochet in the back loops only all the way around. So wrap yarn around hook, and you can see there's 2 loops here. Insert it into just the back loop. Bring up a loop, wrap yarn around hook, bring it through all 3 loops on the hook, just like that. Now let me work a few and I'll show you what that working into that back loop only is going to look like. It's going to leave the front loop unworked, so it creates this really nice and super easy to make little texture of our coffee cozy. Okay, so I'm just working half double crochets into the back loop only. Okay, now I worked a few stitches and you can see this nice little ridge that it's leaving behind, and it just gives a little texture. It's just a way to kind of mix it up if you don't want to do a regular half double crochet. So I'm going to do half double crochets in the back loops only all the way around, and then we'll rejoin towards the end of this round and I'll show you how to finish everything off. Okay, so I'm just working that last half double crochet into the back loops only. Okay, you can see it has nice texture already. We're going to count 2 chains up and join the same way with a slip stitch as we did in the previous round. So then, because we're doing one color per round rather, we're going to switch again. Now you can do this all in one color if you don't like to switch colors so much. So what we're going to do for the remainder of our coffee cozy is work the row we did just now in this darker brown. You're just going to repeat that over and over and over again, and we're going to switch to a different color and then keep going with our stripe sequence. So I'm going to work a few more rounds and then we'll rejoin, and I'm going to show you how to add the pumpkin edging top. So I went and worked a few more rounds of the pattern, the same thing, just switched colors. I did 1 round per color here. So now we're ready to add our pumpkin edging to the top. But first I want to create a round of single crochet stitches that we will be putting the pumpkins on top of. So I picked a color that was kind of reminiscent of a pumpkin patch. This is kind of like going to be like dirt, I guess. So what we're going to do is just join the new yarn. Just look for a stitch, preferably in the back where you've joined all your rounds previously. So we're just going to tie that right on. So this will be our dirt color for our pumpkin patch. And obviously you can use any color you like, or you know, what you have on hand. So reinsert your hook back into that stitch. Then you're going to bring up a loop and chain 1. Next, what you're going to do in each stitch all the way around. Now we've been working into the back loops, but now we're just going to be working into the stitches for this round only. Okay, so we're just going to work a single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So if you've never worked a single crochet stitch before, you can just insert the hook into the stitch, bring up a loop, wrap yarn around hook, and bring it through both loops. So that's the single crochet stitch. So insert the hook into the stitch, wrap yarn around hook, bring up a loop, yarn around hook, bring it through both loops. So we're just going to do this all the way around And then we're going to be ready to put our pumpkin. So this will give us a nice sturdy edge so we can put those pumpkins all along the top. So again, I'm just continuing around the top of our cozy in the brown, working in all single crochets all the way around. Okay, so we've gotten back to where we began, and then we're just going to join with a slip stitch to close the round. Okay, so now we can cut the yarn. Go ahead and fasten off, and we can deal with these ends later, or you can weave them in as you go along. I'm just going to kind of put them out of the way. So now we're ready for our pumpkins. So I have the orange yarn here. So what we're going to do is insert the hook into one of these stitches from the previous round where we left off. And then we're just going to tie the orange yarn right on. Just like that. Get those tails out of the way. We'll deal with those later. So now that we have our orange yarn tied on, we're going to reach in with our hook and bring up a loop. Okay? And then go ahead and chain one. Okay? So this first stitch that we come to, we're going to work a slip stitch. So insert the hook into the stitch, bring up a loop, bring that loop through the loop already on your hook. Okay? The next stitch we're going to skip. The stitch after that will be working our first pumpkin. So to make a pumpkin, we're going to work a single crochet, then a half double crochet, chain two, 1, 2. In the second chain from the hook, work a slip stitch. This is going to create our stem, little pumpkin stem. In the next, I'm sorry, not in the next, but in the same stitch here, work a half double crochet, and then a single crochet, and that's all in the same stitch to create that pumpkin. Okay, we now have a little tiny pumpkin here on our row. Okay, so the next stitch we're going to work a slip stitch, skip the next stitch, in the stitch after that work the next pumpkin. So single crochet, half double crochet, chain two, 1, 2. In the second chain from the hook, work a slip stitch, just like that. Work another half double crochet in that stitch, and then a single crochet. We now have 2 pumpkins in our little pumpkin patch. Okay, so the next stitch, work a slip stitch, skip the next stitch, in the stitch after that work another pumpkin. So single crochet, half double crochet, chain two, 1, 2, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook to create that little stem, half double crochet next, and again we're doing this all in the same stitch for that pumpkin, and then a single crochet to finish off your pumpkin. So you can see what it looks like so far. Okay, next stitch, work a slip stitch, skip the next stitch, in the stitch after that work a single crochet. For the next pumpkin, same stitch, work a half double crochet, chain 2. In the second chain from the hook, work a slip stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, in the same stitch, and a single crochet. That was all in the same stitch to work that pumpkin. Okay? All right, we're about halfway through or so of our little pumpkin round here. Work a slip stitch in the next stitch, skip the next stitch, in the stitch after that we're ready for our next pumpkin. Single crochet, half double crochet, chain 2, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, work a half double crochet. This is all in that same stitch. And a single crochet to finish the pumpkin. Just like that. We now have lots of pumpkins. They look very cute. Okay, next stitch, slip stitch. Skip the next stitch and the stitch after that. Our next pumpkin, single crochet, half double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, work a slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, another half double crochet in that same stitch, and a single crochet. Okay, moving right along, we're going to get a little bit more yarn to complete our round here. Okay, so we just did a pumpkin, so in that next stitch we're going to do a slip stitch. What the slip stitch kind of does is pull the side down of the pumpkin to kind of anchor it into place. Okay, skip the next stitch. Now we're coming up towards the end here. So skip the next one and the next one after that, work a single crochet, half double crochet, chain 2, work a slip stitch in the second chain from the hook to make that stem, work another half double crochet, and a single crochet. Just like that. And we'll get everything straightened out when we're finished. Okay, so just work your slip stitch in that next stitch. And now we're back where we started. So also you want to close the round. So just locate the next stitch where you began and just join with a slip stitch again to close the round as well. I'm just looking for that stitch there. A little snug because we tied a knot. There we go. Okay, so just join with a slip stitch to close, and then we can take the yarn, cut it, and then just fasten that off. Okay, so our pumpkin patch coffee cozy is complete. Now what I like to do is just kind of, almost looks like a little crown of pumpkins. It's very pretty. So you can just kind of shape up these pumpkins a little bit, get their stems nice and pointy. Okay, so that looks very pretty. Now you're going to have some ends when you're finished. So what you can do is just turn it inside out for a moment. And when you do striped projects, when you're weaving in ends, what you'll want to do is keep the colors in the same place. So we're going to weave orange ends into orange areas of our cozy. Okay, so just come in one direction. Come back in the other direction, and then just trim that tail. All right, so we're going to weave in the rest of our tails. Have a few more left. Okay, so we have all of our ends woven in, and everything looks very, very pretty, very fallish, and ready to slip on your favorite cup of coffee or tea. So you can just slip that right onto when you go to the coffee shop next time, or when you're home, or even your travel mug if you like to make your coffee at home. So that is how you crochet the pumpkin patch coffee cozy. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiberflux video updates. Thanks again.